Hi, and welcome to HRS 5200, Assistive Technology for Seating and Mobility. I'm Carmen DeGiovane. This week we're talking about Module 7, Manual Mobility for Independent Propellers. But before we go on to this week's module, I just want to talk to you a little bit about metacognition and Bloom's Taxonomy. I'm currently reading a book called Teach Students How to Learn by Sandra Yancey McGuire and Stephanie McGuire. And I just find it a fascinating book because it's not only about how to teach, but it's also about how to learn. Actually, they talk about the difference between studying and learning and how metacognition comes into play with that. So I want you to, if you're having a tough time with this class or with any class, and you're struggling a little bit with what's the difference between studying and learning, I know I did. I can tell you, I feel like I didn't actually learn how to learn until about 5 years ago. Up to that point, it was all about studying and memorizing, and we're really trying to get way past that. So I'd recommend checking it out. She has a book that's focused on students. You can check out that book, or reach out to me if you just want to learn a little bit more about metacognition and how it plays into the learning process. The other thing I want to point out is I'll just talk quickly about Bloom's Taxonomy. Oftentimes students are asking me what type of information are they supposed to memorize or learn in this course. And for the undergrads, it's really, when you're looking at the assignments, think about the assignments from the standpoint of remembering, understanding, and applying. So we're, remembering new concepts and understanding what they mean, and then applying them in the assignments. So that's really what I'm trying to do. For the graduate students, I'm really trying to get you to analyze, sort of break down the concepts a little bit and evaluate the concepts. And I hope you see that in some of the case reports. So that's just a little bit of background that I hope helps you better understand what I'm trying to do in this course and what I want you to take away and hopefully be able to apply in your professional jobs in the future. Okay, so on to the stuff we're really supposed to be talking about. Going back, Module 6. It was the last module about sitting, so we were looking at postural supports for hand-dependent sitters and for prop sitters. Module 6 really focused on those two types of individuals and the things that you need to consider when talking about seating systems. There were a couple chapters I had you read. Chapter 4 had excellent case reports in the chapter. I hope you went through and really thought through what those different individuals look like and the technology you might use to support them. And I hope you mimicked. You should have tried to mimic some of those postures to see what it's like when you're sitting, or observe somebody else assuming those postures. We had got my notes mixed up here. We had a quiz that covered chapters 3 through 5. So I hope you found that beneficial. And that quiz is actually not due until the end of this week. And then we had, for the grad students, part 1 of case report number 1. Moving on to Module 7, Manual Mobility for Independent Propellers. And we start getting into manual wheelchairs. I really nerd out on manual wheelchairs. I find them fascinating. I think it's all the different configurations that you can create with them to really meet the needs of the individual. Manual mobility is all about the numbers, whether it's measurements of lengths or angles, and how you put those together, those measurements from the person, and apply them and configure the wheelchair. The wheelchair configuration dictates the performance of the wheelchair. You can have an outstanding manual wheelchair, super lightweight manual wheelchair, but if it's not configured right for the individual, it's going to act like a lightweight wheelchair. You're just not going to get the performance out of it. Also, you can have the best wheelchair in the world, but have a poor seating system, and if it's not supporting an individual properly, they're not going to be able to use the wheelchair properly. So the setup of the wheelchair, the setup of the seating system, all go hand in hand in maximizing performance of the wheelchair. We also talked a little bit about standardized terminology and measurements. Standardized terminology, so thinking about this is in chapter 6. Standardized terminology and measurements is all about interprofessional communication. It's the language that we use to communicate with each other, clinicians, consumers, manufacturers, and suppliers. It allows us to translate our recommendations into solutions. So from now on, you'll be referencing Chapter 6 quite a bit as you put together your case reports, as you write up some of the assignments and look at the assignments. I want you to go back to Chapter 6 and use that standardized language and standardized measurements. If you have a chance, I would highly recommend going out and checking out some manual wheelchairs, observing them. You can do that at a clinic like this, though we're not letting too many observers, but we do have an opportunity on March 10th to come and check things out. Or reach out to a complex rehab technology supplier. I listed a website, the NCART website, for a list of suppliers and manufacturers in the United States. So I know that focuses on the United States. The list is a complete list. Sometimes they just put the corporate headquarters, so you may have to go to the individual websites to find the company that's in your region, but that's a great way to see what type of manual wheelchairs and what manual wheelchairs and power wheelchairs look like in the real world as opposed to the virtual world. In terms of learning activities, I recommend going back to module 2 or 3, can't remember which one, in the anatomy of a manual wheelchair. So that video demo, check that out. And then of course you'll be reading chapter 9 in the Seating and Mobility textbook. In terms of assignments, we have a quiz on postural supports and pressure management. That's a carryover for module 6. Then we also have a tech eval discussion for both undergrad and grad students, the rebuttal just for the grad students, and then part 2 of case report number 1 for the grad students. So a few assignments due this week. All the assignments are really based around helping you better learn the information. And then finally, to wrap up, I've got a ton of cool stuff in assistive technology, some of it focused on seating and mobility. The first one is check out the Makeable Assistive Technology Design Challenge. I included a link in my notes. Look at 3D printing lessons plans if you're interested in 3D printing by PrintLab. I learned about Lowe's has an aging in place solutions, so I provided a link to that. So that's how some of this aging in place and assistive technology is translating into mainstream technology. And then finally, for all of you who are in at The Ohio State University, you all are, I want to make you aware of HRS Cares, so Health and Rehabilitation Sciences Cares. You can go, I've got a link to their website, which is u.osu.edu HRS Cares, and then there's a great podcast I've started listening to. And this is about caring for yourself as a student in our program. Finally, RESNA posted a draft position paper on ultralight wheelchairs. So if you want to look at how do these position papers on the use of ultralight wheelchairs, what is the creation process, or how are they generated, I recommend checking out the draft proposal, and you can even provide feedback based on what you learn out of this course. The feedback is due April 1st. So in closing, remember metacognition, we're focused on learning, not just studying. Bloom's taxonomy, for the undergrads, we're looking at what are called the lower levels of Bloom's taxonomy. For the grad students, we're looking at the higher levels of Bloom's taxonomy. If you need anything, reach out to me through Carmen Canvas Mail. Some of you have been reaching out to me through email. I don't respond as quickly to email, but I respond pretty quickly. I try to if you email me through Carmen Canvas Mail. Even on the weekends, I tend to check it. Not always, but I tend to. Of course, reach out to me if you have any questions about the course or RC, and have a great week, and keep an eye out for assistive technology and seating and mobility.